Hello, viewers, and welcome once again to Vices and Virtue. I am Ene Uja, and I am joined with
Freke Clement Isen.
Blessing Atsua Olofintila.
And for those of us that have been following the conversation, last week was indeed a very heated conversation. And this week, we are diving into something different, something more, something that resonates with us deeply. And this week, we'll be discussing on the topic equality in marriage, or we can paraphrase it to what does equality look like in marriage. Stay tuned and enjoy the conversation. Alright, ladies, the term equality, when we listen, or rather when we hear the word equality, what is that first thing that comes to mind, if I can?
Okay, equality. The first thing is equal. The same. That's just it.
Okay.
Unity. On the same page. Just as the name implies, it's equal. No more, no less.
Okay. So, from what both of you have said, equality means striking a balance.
Sure.
No one should be cheated. It has to be a 50-50 kind of, right?
Yeah.
All right. But what does equality in marriage looks like? What is equality in marriage? When someone says, I want equality in my marriage, from our understanding as Christians, as women, as African women, as mothers, what do we understand by that?
Okay, I think I should go first.
Okay.
So for me, based on the African setting, just like you say, is a woman in marriage wanting to have equal rights with her husband. You know, we live in a society where we're being made to understand that you're not supposed to have equal rights with a man. Yeah, let me start with the male man now.
Yes.
So you're not supposed to have an equal right, starting from, let's say, a typical example is inheritance. You're not even supposed to have an inheritance as a girl child. So in marriage now, you see where most people will say the man is supposed to work, the woman is supposed to stay at home and look after the children. But the woman will say, no, we both work, we both take care of the children. So that's like a scenario where equality comes into play. Or if we're actually making money, we should spend the same amount of money on our whatever it is we want to do. So that's like a scenario for me.
Okay. Listen.
Well, I will also say the same thing. This is something that goes around the circle. All African families experience this. So it's almost the same thing. Equality in marriage is, I think it's just about having to strike a balance. It's not really a must 50-50 kind of thing, like you said. So it's just finding ways that works. What works for you in your own home? Your equality there might not be the same for me, but in generality, it's having an understanding. Okay, shared values, shared responsibilities. Not necessarily what Mr. A does should work for me here. What I'm doing here that is working for my own definition of equality in marriage might not work for you. But I think these are points that we really cannot throw under the carpet. Shared responsibility. It's not necessarily maybe the man should help with the chores, literally, but responsibility is being shared. Shared values, moral respect, and all of that. Just let's have a balance.
All right, listen. I think I understand where you are coming from. Now, as Christians, as believers, permit me to use the word believers because it differs. Being a Christian is different from being a believer.
Yeah.
As believers, as women that have husbands, when you stand up today and demand for equality, I want you to speak like a virtuous woman that demands or that needs equality in her marriage. Where do you think you would want to channel and direct women to when you have that when you feel, oh, this particular family or this particular person the woman is being subjugated, and as a daughter of God, a believer, how do you think you can strike or bring the man to light to understand the importance of equality in marriage.
Okay, that's good. Looking at the context, Christian, I think for me, look at it in the area of love. The Bible talks about loving one another as you love yourself. So equality should be found in the level of love. In computer, they call it what? Garbage in,
Garbage out.
And we've also understood that when a man loves a woman, it's easy for a woman to submit. Submission is
Becomes
like a
natural.
walkway, you know. So in a family, first thing first, love your wife as you love yourself. That's one pointer of equality that I feel should be there should be a balance in marriage. And then another aspect is in the role of child training. I've seen fathers who would leave the sole responsibility of raising the children for the parents, not just because they don't provide money. They provide money, but when mommy is talking to a child and dad is around, mommy is expecting daddy to, I scold, you scold. Because it comes to play that at some point, if children don't understand what their mothers are doing, they'll feel mommy hates me and daddy loves me. So in such setting, there's no balance. So where the balance will come in is daddy scolds, mommy scolds, so that everybody knows that, see, that thing you did was wrong and is highly unacceptable in this home.
So that's beautiful. Blessing.
Yeah, I would like to say that while I was thinking about this topic, don't mind me, I'm not claiming spirituality. I will always say the spirit ministered to me. Someone will say spirit coco. It is not only about all that we have mentioned. Spirituality too. We should have equality. Where the wife says it's time for fasting, and the husband says, "Oh yes, I was even about saying it."
That's it.
Not that only the woman. You go to some homes, the woman is firebrand for God. The man is as old as whatever. But he says he's the head of the family. It doesn't balance. There's no balance.
There's
there.
no.
So you see, the woman is struggling. I think the Bible says marriage is I think whether when one is down, Proverbs says
one shall chase 1,000 and two
10,000.
Yeah.
So that aspect too, there should be a balance. You go to some homes, no family prayer altar. Okay, maybe it's there quite all right, but you see, it's only the woman that is
front.
yes, the man will be there sleeping. When you call and say, go ahead and pray, don't worry, I'll pray later.
Yes.
You understand? There's a challenge.
No,
there's no equality there.
I agree with you. You know, in fact, the Bible made it clear, talking about spirituality, that the man is the spiritual head of the home. But a lot of homes are going to be now the responsibility of being the spiritual head is mounted on the women, and not forgetting that these children, their lineage is connected more to the roots of the father than that of the mother. So to agree to what Blessing said, equality has to even come in spiritually as well. If as a wife your husband is a firebrand, you also need to be that firebrand.
In fact, your own fire should be more.
Exactly, you should, because women, we are what? We are gatekeepers. There are certain doors that a woman will stand and pray, and those doors will open that a man will stand and pray for years. That door will still be shut.
And then there's the prayer of agreement too.
Yes, beautiful prayer of agreement.
Where the two come together.
When two shall become one. Even the Bible has already made it clear by virtue of what marriage, that two shall become one.
That's equal.
So as women, as Christian women, we are not disputing the fact that the man is the sole head of the home. Nobody is disputing that fact. But just as we all have said, we should be able to strike a balance. If your wife is doing A as a man, you do B. If she's doing C, you do D. You might not necessarily be good.
Same grace.
Yes, you might not necessarily be good at that, but make an effort. She should see you trying to help out. Believe me, there are men that they will tell you they don't even know the color of the drum in their kitchen because they don't go there. They will say they have no business to do with the kitchen. The wife comes back from work. For those of them that are working, she cooks, she serves you, she packs the plate, she washes the plate, she goes back to the room, have a bath, and still serve you at night.
Perform her matrimonial duties. You can't even raise common teacup.
And in between all of this, she's still helping the kids with their homework. And you're in the house, you are sleeping, or you are watching football, or you are chatting because you are the man.
Yes, and please I love something you said. Still helps the kids with their homework. Something very practical happened. There's this lady on social media. She's called Cora Obidi. You know, for some of us, people like me, God has given me the grace. I pick from every little thing I see. When I go on social media, I get a lot. And then, I don't know, my eyes are always opened. This Cora Obidi, she's a single mother of 2. I saw on Instagram where the father drops them off at a junction where she'll pick them because they are no longer together, they are divorced. So the first daughter came and was saying, "Mommy, I couldn't finish my homework." Then the mom said, "Why couldn't you finish your homework?" She said, I didn't have time to do the homework. The husband was a white man. So the children, you know, and they stayed there. I didn't have time to do the homework. Oh, so she didn't say anything. Now, she just said, get into the car. But this is it. They are coming from where? Their father. At the end of it all, the mother will help with the homework.
She'll still be the one to do it.
She'll still be the one to do the homework. So you see, even at that, there's no equality.
There's no equality.
Even in separation, there's no equality.
There's no equality. And that's why as Christian women, and by the virtue of exposure that we have, it is good that some of these topics are being discussed. Because believe me, even down to some of our spiritual leaders, they still have this default of equality. Some will go as far as telling you that I didn't see my father lift up a broomstick. Why do you want me to lift it up? She's not telling you to lift it up and help her sweep. But at least, if you can't do that, help her control the children. What are you doing? Do this. There are homes where you see the mother from January to December, he's the only person shouting in the house.